What if the real cost of everything you buy isn't money? What if that morning coffee isn't $5 but 20 minutes of your life? What if the house, the car, the subscriptions, the lifestyle are quietly trading away your freedom? For decades, we've been taught to chase more money. But what if the goal isn't more money? What if the goal is more life? In today's video, we break down one of the most powerful personal finance books ever written, Your Money or Your Life, and discover how to transform your relationship with money, reclaim your time, and build a life of true freedom. Let's begin. Section 1. The Hidden Trade We Never Question. Most people believe they work for money, but this book asks a deeper question. What are you really trading? When you go to work, you are not simply exchanging hours for dollars. You are exchanging your life energy. Life energy is your time, your focus, your attention, your mental and emotional capacity, your health, your relationships, your waking hours. Every paycheck represents a portion of your life that will never return. The book reframes income in a powerful way. Money equals life energy. And once you understand this, everything changes. Because if money equals life energy, then spending money equals spending your life. Pause for a moment. Think about the last purchase you made. Was it worth the hours of your life you traded for it? Most people never calculate this. They see price tags, not life cost. And that's why so many feel stuck. Section 2. The Real Hourly Wage Exercise. Here's where the book gets practical. Most people think they know how much they earn per hour, but they don't. Because your real hourly wage is not what your employer pays you. Your real hourly wage includes commuting time, getting ready for work, decompressing from work, work-related stress, clothes for work, meals out, transportation, health care from stress, the mental exhaustion that spills into evenings. When you calculate everything, your $30 per hour job might actually be $18 per hour, or even less. Now, here's the life-changing question. When you buy something for $100, how many hours of your life did that cost? 5? 8? 10? This simple calculation creates awareness, and awareness creates power. Section 3. The Illusion of Making It. We live in a culture that celebrates income, raises, promotions, upgrades. But the book challenges this narrative. It asks, are you earning a living or making a dime? Many people increase their income and increase their expenses right along with it. This is called lifestyle inflation. The more you earn, the more you spend. The more you spend, the more you need to earn. The more you need to earn, the less freedom you have. It becomes a treadmill. And the tragedy? You can run faster every year and still go nowhere. The authors describe a powerful concept. Financial independence is not about being rich. It's about having enough. Enough to live. Enough to breathe. Enough to choose. Section 4. Step 1. Making peace with the past before building wealth. The book asks you to look backward. How much money have you earned in your lifetime? Most people don't know. If you've worked for 20 years, even at modest salaries, you may have earned over $1 million already. Where did it go? This isn't about guilt. It's about awareness, because you cannot change what you refuse to measure. Making peace with the past means accepting past mistakes, forgiving yourself, seeing patterns, understanding spending habits. This step alone can be emotional, but it's powerful, because clarity replaces shame. Section 5. Tracking every dollar. The book introduces one of its most disciplined practices. Track every single cent. Not to restrict yourself, but to wake yourself up. When you write down every expense, something magical happens. Spending becomes conscious. You start asking, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, or value from this expense? If yes, great. If no, adjust. This transforms budgeting from punishment into alignment. Money becomes a tool for values. Section 6. Fulfillment Curve. The book introduces a simple but profound idea. More spending does not always equal more happiness. In fact, there is a peak point, a level of spending where fulfillment is highest. Below it, you may feel deprived. Above it, you may feel burdened. Many people live above their fulfillment curve. They spend more than necessary, work more than necessary, stress more than necessary, but they're not happier. This realization is liberating, because if you can find your fulfillment number, you don't need endless income. You need alignment. Section 7. Redefining wealth. Wealth is not net worth. Wealth is how long you can live without working. If your monthly expenses are $3,000 and you have $36,000 saved, you have 1 year of wealth. That's powerful, because wealth becomes measurable freedom. Financial independence is simply when investment income is greater than or equal to living expenses. No lottery, no extreme risk, just math and patience. The 9-Step Program Deep Dive In. Part 1. We explored a radical idea. Money equals life energy. Now we go deeper, because this book is not just philosophy, it's a system, a step-by-step transformation. The authors present a 9-step program not to help you get rich fast, but to help you reclaim control over your life. Let's walk through each step carefully. Step 1. Making peace with the past before building wealth. You must clear emotional weight. Most people carry silent money guilt, bad investments, credit card debt, missed opportunities, impulse purchases, financial ignorance. This step asks you to calculate. How much money have you earned in your entire life? From your first job until today. Include everything: salaries, bonuses, gifts, business income, side hustles. Add it all up. The number may shock you. Now ask, what do I have to show for it? This is not about blame. It's about awakening. Because when you see the full picture, you stop drifting. You start directing. Making peace with the past means I did the best I could with what I knew. Now, I choose differently. This removes shame and creates power. Step 2. Track every penny. This is where discipline begins. For at least 1 month, ideally longer, track every single cent you spend. Everything. Rent, coffee, subscriptions, gas, online shopping, random snacks. Most people resist this because awareness is uncomfortable. But here's what happens. Spending becomes conscious. You begin noticing patterns. Stress spending, boredom spending, social pressure spending. Habit spending. Tracking turns money from a blur into data, and data removes emotion. This step builds mindfulness, and mindfulness builds control. Step 3. Transform spending into life energy. Now comes the powerful shift. Calculate your real hourly wage. Remember from part 1, your real hourly wage includes commute, preparation, recovery, work stress, work-related expenses. Let's say, after calculations, you earn $20 per real hour. Now every purchase must be converted. $100 shoes? That's 5 hours of your life. $1? 500 vacation? That's 75 hours of your life. Suddenly, price tags feel different. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, is this worth my life energy? That question changes everything. Step 4. 3 powerful questions. At the end of each month, review your spending. For each category, ask, did I receive fulfillment, satisfaction, and value from this expense? Is this expense aligned with my values? How might this expense change if I didn't have to work for money? This transforms budgeting into self-discovery. For example, you may realize you love dining out with friends. It gives genuine connection. Keep it. But maybe you hate commuting costs. It drains you. Adjust it. This step is not about cutting everything. It's about cutting what doesn't serve your life. Step 5. Make your income visible. Create a large wall chart. Track 2 lines every month. Total income, total expenses, visually. Not hidden in an app, not buried in spreadsheets. Visible. Why? Because what you see daily influences behavior. Over time, you want the gap between income and expenses to grow. That gap is your power. That gap is your future freedom. Watching progress visually builds motivation. It turns money into a game, and games are easier to win. Step 6. Value every dollar. This is where mindset deepens. Each dollar you save represents preserved life energy. When you reduce unnecessary expenses, you're not depriving yourself. You're reclaiming time. Imagine this. If reducing expenses by $500 per month moves your financial independence date 3 years closer, would you do it? This step reframes frugality as freedom, not cheapness, freedom. You start buying quality over quantity, meaning over status, purpose over impulse. Step 7. Increase income consciously. This book is not anti-income. It simply asks you to earn with awareness. Ask, is my job aligned with my values? Does it energize or drain me? Am I selling my life energy cheaply? You may decide to. Ask for a raise. Learn new skills. Start a side business. Shift careers. But here's the key. Do not increase income just to increase lifestyle. Increase income to increase freedom. There's a difference. Step 8. Capital and the crossover point. Now, we reach one of the most powerful ideas in the book, the crossover point. This is when your investment income exceeds your monthly expenses. At this point, work becomes optional, not because you're rich, but because you're free. To reach crossover, you must reduce expenses intentionally, invest surplus wisely, allow compounding to work. The book emphasizes conservative, long-term investing, patience over speculation, stability over gambling, because financial independence is built steadily, not dramatically. Step 9. Living as a whole human being. The final step is philosophical. When money no longer controls you, what will you do? This is the ultimate question. Many people chase financial independence without designing a meaningful life. The book asks, how will you contribute? How will you grow? How will you serve? Financial independence is not the finish line. It is the beginning of conscious living, the deeper transformation. The 9-step program is not about numbers. It is about identity. You shift from consumer-conscious creator, employee-owner of time, spender-allocator of life energy, chaser-chooser, and over time, you stop feeling trapped. You feel intentional. Why? This program works because it attacks the root problem, unconscious living. Most people drift financially. This program forces awareness, and awareness creates choice, and choice creates freedom. Investment philosophy and the crossover strategy. Deep dive in. Part 2. We explored the 9-step program. Now, we arrive at the moment where everything connects. The crossover point. This is the moment when your money begins working harder than you do. This is the moment when your investment income exceeds your living expenses. This is the moment work becomes optional. Not forced, not required. Optional. And that changes everything. But to reach this point, you must understand the philosophy behind investing the way this book approaches. It is radically different from the culture around money. Section 1. The difference between speculation and investment. The modern financial world sells excitement, hot stocks, crypto surges, market timing, get-rich-fast strategies. But this book takes a calm, disciplined stance. It separates speculation from investment. Speculation is driven by emotion, hype, urgency. Fear of missing out. Investment, in contrast, is driven by patience, logic, long-term thinking. Income generation speculation tries to beat the market. Investment tries to outlast it. And when your goal is financial independence, not bragging rights, stability wins. Section 2. Why safety matters more than speed. One of the most overlooked ideas in the book is this. If you already have enough, why risk losing it? Many people think investing must be aggressive to be meaningful. But when your goal is crossover, not extreme wealth, consistency matters more than dramatic returns. The authors emphasize capital preservation first, income second, growth third. Because once your expenses are covered by investment income, you win. There's no need to gamble. Freedom is not built through adrenaline. It's built through discipline. Section 3. The crossover point explained simply. Let's define it clearly for your audience. Your crossover point is when monthly investment income is greater than or equal to monthly living expenses. That's it. If your monthly expenses are $3,000 and your investments generate $3,000 per month, you've crossed over. Now here's what's powerful. The lower your expenses, the sooner you reach crossover. Most people chase higher income. Few reduce expenses intelligently, but cutting $1,000 in monthly expenses could move your crossover date years earlier. This is leverage, and it's within your control. Section 4. The mathematics of freedom. Let's simplify the numbers. Imagine you spend $40,000 per year. You invest consistently. You earn a conservative average return. You reinvest income. Over time, compounding works quietly. Compounding is not exciting. It's not dramatic, but it's relentless. Money, earning money, then earning more money. The earlier you start, the more powerful it becomes. And here's the psychological shift. Instead of asking, how can I make more money this year? You begin asking, how can I shorten the distance to crossover? That question creates clarity. Section 5. The role of index funds and simplicity. The book emphasizes simplicity in investing. Rather than chasing individual stocks, it leans toward broad, diversified investments, low-cost index funds, income-producing assets, reliable vehicles. The message is clear. Complexity increases risk. Simplicity increases sustainability. Most people overcomplicate investing because complexity feels sophisticated. But sophistication does not equal effectiveness. Consistency wins. Section 6. The emotional side of investing. Markets rise. Markets fall. Fear and greed dominate headlines. But the financially independent individual thinks differently. They see market drops as temporary, expected, opportunity. When you are investing for crossover, not quick profits, volatility becomes background noise. The book encourages detachment from daily financial drama because panic destroys progress. Emotional control is more important than financial intelligence. Section 7. Why financial independence is not retirement. This is critical for your audience. Financial independence does not mean sitting on a beach forever. It means choice. You may continue working, but now it's voluntary. You may start a passion project. Volunteer, travel, create. The difference is this. You no longer tolerate work you hate for survival. You work because you want to. That's dignity. That's power. Section 8. Designing a lower enough number. Here's where the book becomes deeply practical. Most people assume they need millions to be free. But the book asks, what if you designed a life that costs less? A smaller home, fewer status purchases, more intentional spending. If you reduce annual expenses from $70,000 to $40,000, your required investment portfolio shrinks dramatically. Freedom becomes mathematically closer. The book challenges consumer culture directly, not by saying don't enjoy life, but by asking, does this lifestyle truly serve you? Or are you financing appearances? Section 9. The psychological shift after crossover. When people reach crossover, something interesting happens. Fear decreases. Urgency fades. Clarity increases. You stop obsessing over money. Because money is no longer a threat. It becomes a tool. The book describes financial independence as a doorway. On the other side is creativity, contribution, peace, time. And time, remember, is life energy. The entire system circles back to this truth. The purpose of money is not accumulation, it is liberation. Section 10. The quiet power of long-term thinking in a world addicted to speed. This book teaches patience. Financial independence may take 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. But consider this. Those years will pass anyway. The only question is, will you arrive at them dependent or free? Every small decision compounds. Every unnecessary expense pushes crossover further away. Every conscious choice brings it closer. It's not about perfection. It's about direction. Section 11. The most radical idea in the book here it is. You don't need more money. You need more awareness. Because once you know your real expenses, your real values, your real life energy cost, money stops controlling you. You control it. And when your investments cover your needs, the system flips. You no longer work for money. Money works for you. Closing reflection. For part 3, imagine waking up knowing your bills are covered. Your time is yours. Your work is optional. Your life energy is protected. That is the crossover. That is the goal. Not wealth for status. Not wealth for ego. Wealth for freedom. Psychological freedom and redesigning your life. Up to this point, we've talked about life energy, conscious spending, the 9-step program, the crossover point, investment philosophy. But now we arrive at the most important transformation, the internal one. Because financial independence is not the end goal. Psychological freedom is. Section 1. The identity shift. Most people define themselves by their job. What do? It's usually the first question in any conversation. But when your income no longer defines your survival, who are you? This is the deeper challenge. The book gently pushes you to separate your job from your identity. Because your worth is not your paycheck, your value is not your salary, and your life purpose is not your job title. When you reach financial independence, or even move meaningfully toward it, you begin asking better questions. What do I care about? What problems do I want to solve? What brings me alive? And those questions are far more powerful than, how much do I make? Section 2. Escaping the more trap hour culture teaches more money, more house, more upgrades, more lifestyle. But the book introduces a revolutionary idea. Enough. Not minimalism for the sake of sacrifice, but sufficiency for the sake of peace. When you know your enough number, you stop chasing endlessly. You stop comparing constantly. You stop feeling behind because you've defined your own finish line. This creates enormous psychological relief. Imagine no longer feeling pressured to upgrade every year. No longer feeling inferior because someone earns more. No longer feeling anxious about falling behind. That is freedom. Section 3. The freedom of time money is stored life energy. But time is life itself. When you gain control over your money, you gain control over your time. And time is the ultimate currency. What would you do with 1 extra hour per day? 1 extra day per week? 1 extra year of freedom? Would you travel? Create? Start a business? Volunteer? Spend more time with family? Read? Build something meaningful? Financial independence doesn't tell you what to do. It simply removes the barrier. And that space, that open space, is where redesign begins. Section 4. Redesigning work. One of the most powerful shifts the book encourages is this. Work is not the enemy. Unconscious work is. When survival pressure disappears, you can redesign your relationship with work. You might work part-time instead of full-time. Choose meaningful projects. Start a purpose-driven business. Take sabbaticals. Shift industries entirely. Instead of asking, how much does this pay? You ask, does this align with my life? And that question changes your trajectory. Section 5. The courage to live differently. Financial independence often requires going against social norms, driving an older car, living in a smaller home, saying no to status pressure, avoiding lifestyle inflation. This requires courage because society rewards appearance. But the book teaches you to value substance. There is quiet confidence in knowing, I could work, but I don't have to. That energy is different. It's calm, grounded, unshaken. Section 6. The environmental and social angle. One often overlooked part of this book is its broader perspective. When consumption decreases, impact decreases. When spending aligns with values, communities strengthen. When people stop chasing excess, they start contributing meaningfully. The book encourages conscious citizenship, not just conscious budgeting. Because financial independence is not isolation, it is empowerment. And empowered individuals build stronger communities. Section 7. Freedom from fear money. Stress is one of the greatest psychological burdens in modern life. Bills, debt, job insecurity, unexpected emergencies. When you build a system that protects you, fear decreases. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you're prepared, and preparedness creates confidence. When you know you can survive without a paycheck, you negotiate differently. You think differently. You act differently. You are no longer desperate, and desperation is expensive. Section 8. Living intentionally. The ultimate message of your money or your life is this: design your life first, then align your money accordingly. Most people do the opposite. They earn money, then try to squeeze life into what's left. This book flips that equation. Ask, what does a meaningful life look like for me? How much does that cost? What systems do I need to support it? This is not about retirement at 40. It's about intention at any age. Section 9. The long view of life. Financial independence is not a sprint. It's a philosophy. Even if you never fully retire early, even if you love your career, the awareness alone changes everything. You spend differently, save differently, invest differently, choose differently. And over decades, that difference compounds, just like money. Final reflection. Bringing it all together, let's return to the core question of this book. Are you spending your money or your life? Every purchase is a trade. Every workday is a trade. The book does not tell you to stop working. It does not tell you to stop spending. It does not tell you to avoid ambition. It simply asks you to wake up, to see clearly, to choose consciously, to live deliberately. Financial independence is not about escaping life. It's about reclaiming it. When your expenses are aligned with your values, when your investments protect your freedom, when your time belongs to you, you become whole. You are no longer chasing. You are creating. And that is the ultimate wealth. You don't need millions. You don't need luck. You don't need extreme risk. You need awareness. You need discipline. You need intention. Because at the end of the day, your money is your life. Spend it wisely.